This is the Piper Malibu Meridian, the perfect marriage of the Pratt and Whitney PT6, known icing, airborne radar, sophisticated avionics, and simple systems. When Piper introduced its new single-engine turboprop, the Piper Meridian, nobody was quite sure what to make of it. How would it coexist in Piper's lineup with the popular pressurized piston single Malibu Mirage, on which the Meridian is based? And perhaps most importantly, would a new, expensive-to-develop turboprop single save Piper from the financial brink or push it over the edge? Well, those questions have been answered. After years, the Piper Meridian has been a star for the company, which is still in business. During its lifespan, the airplane has gotten a number of upgrades, the most important of which includes a Garmin G1000 avionics suite. The latest Meridian sells for right around $2 million, typically equipped, which is pushing the current asking price of the company's emerging single-engine jet, but is much less than any comparably equipped and performing pressurized turboprop available. By any measure, the Meridian is an impressive step-up airplane, offering pilots the chance to fly in the kind of comfort, speed, and style that simply isn't attainable in a piston-powered airplane at any price. All of which are likely reasons that the Meridian remains a strong seller for Piper despite its premium price tag. Stay with us till the end of the video because here is everything you need to know about the Piper Malibu Meridian. Stepping inside, aircraft entry is via a main cabin door aft of the left wing that is 3.8 feet or 1.12 meters high and 2 feet or 60 centimeters wide. Overall, the cabin offers 120 cubic feet or 3.4 cubic meter of space and measures 3.9 feet or 1.14 meters high, 4.2 feet or 1.27 meters wide, and 12.2 feet or 3.7 meters long, including the cockpit and the baggage compartment. You have to fold the seats forward to access it. The Meridian has no room for a lavatory or galley, but the average Meridian flight is usually under an hour, so you really don't need them. From a passenger's point of view, there's a lot to like about the roomy Piper Meridian, with its fancy leather interior and fine fit and finish, especially when it's compared with the smaller piston competition. The fuselage dates back to the Piper Navajos of the 1960s, when the average American male weighed 170 pounds or 77 kilograms. If the pilot played middle linebacker, he's probably not going to comfortably fit in the cockpit, and the passengers in the facing club, 4 seats better like each other, a lot. The downside for the pilot is, as with nearly every other cabin class airplane with this configuration, you need to go through the cabin to get to your seat. And because there's no external baggage compartment, you also need to load the bags through the cabin. That said, the baggage area, located behind the rear seats, is easy to get to. Just fold the seat backs forward and has a volume of 20 cubic feet or 566 liters, large enough for a sizable load of up to 100 pounds or 45 kilograms of luggage. The quality of the factory paint and interior is fairly high for an airplane at this price point, but periodic refreshing is a good idea. New exterior paint, new leather on the seats, and a new cabin headliner go for about $60,000 at a good shop. However, you will need headsets if you want to talk much to anybody in the cabin, which even by most turboprop standards is a noisy place. Try conducting a conversation without them, and you'll end up passing notes and sucking on throat lozenges. Now let's step into the cockpit. Getting into it is still a bit of a squeeze, eased by the fold-down captain and co-pilot's seats. But once seated in front, there's decent room, and the uncluttered panel adds to the feeling of spaciousness. The Garmin G1000 suite in the Meridian features dual 10-inch primary flight displays for both the pilot and co-pilot, along with a centrally located 15-inch multifunction display. The Garmin GFC 700 autopilot system was integrated as part of the Garmin G1000 avionics suite, which was standard in the Meridian models from around 2009 onwards. The GFC 700 is a fully integrated autopilot system, highly regarded for its precision and versatility, and provides features such as altitude hold, vertical speed control, and heading modes, along with more advanced functionalities such as flight level change, airspeed climbs and descents, and automatic course deviation corrections. In 2015, the Piper Meridian became the Piper M500, featuring several upgrades. The Garmin G1000 NXI flight deck is now dominated by two 10.4-inch primary flight displays and a center-mounted 12.4-inch multifunction display. An Aspen EFD1000 standby instrument has replaced electromechanical backup gauges and wet compass, unifying the appearance of the panel and easing pilot workload in the event backup instruments are needed, as the data presentation basically mirrors what's on the Garmin screens. The autopilot controller has been moved to the top of the panel, and a single audio panel is situated below the MFD. Switches for electrical, engine start, lights, ice protection, and other systems are on a pair of overhead panels, separated by a smaller control panel for cockpit lighting. The GU476 keypad on the pedestal simplifies entering flight plans and other data into the G1000. Meanwhile, the landing gear safety lights now appear on the MFD instead of cluttering the panel with a dedicated display. And in another upgrade, system oral alerts and the stall horn are now audible through the headsets. The intercom has three-dimensional audio. The M500 features an extensive set of upgrades to the avionics suite and other systems, all of them adding considerable value in the form of enhanced safety, ease of operation, added redundancy, or some combination thereof, and without adding much to the price of the airplane. The marquee attraction of the avionics upgrade is Garmin's remarkable envelope protection utility, the Enhanced Stability Protection, or ESP. This is a passive system, which means it operates in the background, watching the airplane's performance and taking action only when the pilot begins to stray outside the airplane's normal operating parameters. With ESP, the autopilot is, in practice, always on, even when it's turned off. At those times, it operates in the background with limited but critical functionality. For instance, ESP's overspeed protection keeps the pilot, when commanding a descent, from inadvertently letting the airspeed gallop past the red line, raising the nose slightly. Likewise, if you start to bank too sharply, ESP will, up to a point, put some artificial resistance into the ailerons, making it noticeably harder to maintain that bank angle. Another important improvement for the M500 is coupled go-around capability, which is possible because of ESP's underspeed protection function. Like the overspeed protection, it keeps the airplane from stalling by softly nudging the nose forward to keep the airplane flying just above stall speed. This protection is great for level-off errors, in which the pilot forgets to add in power after leveling off from an autopilot descent at the selected altitude. Underspeed protection allows an autopilot-flown go-around because it keeps the airplane from stalling should the pilot forget to add in power when initiating the go-around procedure. Other upgrades include ADS-B in-and-out standard and pressurization integrated into the G1000 system. And don't forget the new blue button on the panel, a panic button of sorts. If for whatever reason the airplane gets out of whack attitudinally, all the pilot has to do is push the blue button and the autopilot sets things right. Now let's talk about the engine, performance specifications, and how it flies. The Piper Malibu Meridian is powered by a Pratt and Whitney PT6 42 engine, which has been used on King Air twins for decades and is extremely reliable. It's rated for 1,000 shaft horsepower, but Piper derates it on the Meridian to just 500 shp. That means it is operated significantly below capacity. There is a lot less wear and tear, and there are fewer failures between 3,600-hour overhauls, which cost an average of $200,000. Startup is easy, though the turboprop world has yet to get full authority digital engine controls. Still, spin the turbine, introduce fuel and monitor the start, and you're good to go. Because there's no FADIC, you need to add in power carefully for takeoff while monitoring the engine gauges to avoid overdoing it. Unless you've flown old-fashioned turbocharged piston airplanes, the skill of adding power on takeoff will be a new one. The aircraft requires 2,438 feet or 743 meters of runway to take off at sea level on a standard day and has a full fuel payload of 560 pounds or 255 kilograms. The engines allow a maximum rate of climb per minute of 1,300 feet or 400 meters and a maximum cruising altitude of 30,000 feet or 9,145 meters. While it provides far greater thrust than the 350 horsepower Lycoming six-banger in the Mirage, the 500 horsepower PT6 is a very substantial dialing down of the ubiquitous turboprop's potential power output. Some models of the engine can produce as much as 2,000 shaft horsepower, 4 times the juice of the mill in the Meridian. The lower power rating means a few good things for Meridian owners and their net worth. That economical fuel burn gives the M500 industry-leading economy with an hourly burn at cruise of just 37 gallons or 140 liters, which coupled with its fuel capacity of 170 gallons or 644 liters, gives it a no-wind range of 1,000 nautical miles or 1,852 kilometers with reserves. As with nearly every transportation airplane, that range figure is largely theoretical because it is based on operating assumptions, full fuel, and a light payload that are rarely the case in actual practice. Loading in any turbine airplane is a compromise, and in the Meridian, the corridor for compromise is narrower than in most turbines. Keep in mind that the maximum takeoff weight is 5,092 pounds or 2,300 kilograms, and the full fuel payload is 560 pounds or 255 kilograms. And finally, the aircraft has a minimum landing distance of 2,110 feet or 643 meters. Now let's talk about the price and cost. The base purchase price for a new Piper Malibu Meridian or M500 is $2.4 million before options. And while the price for a used Meridian ranges from $1 million to $1.5 million, the price for a pre-owned M500 is $2 million to $2.5 million. If you wish to charter, the price is estimated at $1,500 to $2,500 per hour, while the total fixed cost is roughly $150,000 to $250,000 per year. The average hourly operating cost is estimated at $750 to $1,250. Thank you for staying with us till the end. Here are 2 videos you can watch next. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.